If you are watching this video right now, you probably are running a high ticket store or thinking of running a high ticket store, and you want to know how to run Google Ads for it effectively. Google Ads is an awesome marketing method for high ticket brands and high ticket businesses because it has search intent behind it. Unlike Meta, where you are interrupting someone scrolling, on Google, you are intercepting someone who is already looking for your product. So often you can get a massive increase in conversion rates and user intent when you're marketing on Google for high ticket products specifically, because they require a lot more intent to purchase in many, many cases. So I'm going to walk you through the full framework of exactly how to run Google Ads for high ticket products. This is from product selection, product marketing angles, product benefits, product advantages, everything you need to know about actually marketing the product itself generally. And then when it comes to Google, how to make the most out of Google as a platform for your product. So I am not leaving any stone unturned here. And please do not skip this first part because it is incredibly important that you get your fundamental messaging correct. If you don't have it right, it's going to be almost impossible to succeed on Google because high ticket products, as we know, are very competitive. So let's get right into it. First of all, competition is very fierce for non-unique products, especially, right? And media buying can only get you so far. So if you're selling a sauna, everyone and their mother is selling a sauna nowadays, right? It's a very, very saturated product and everyone seems to try and sell on Google because they hear that Google is the best platform for selling high ticket products because it's high intent, it represents user intent, et cetera, et cetera. While this is correct, when you are in such a saturated and competitive market, CPCs are going to be very high. You're going to have all these competitors that probably can afford to pay a higher CPA than you because they have better logistics, they have better supplier deals, they have better back-end metrics, better profitability metrics, all these kind of things that come into the equation, right? So when you're in this kind of market with an undifferentiated product, the same as everyone else is selling, it becomes incredibly difficult to run profitably. So before even starting on Google, your product needs to be unique in some capacity to give yourself the best chance. If you are not making your product unique in some way, you are kneecapping yourself by such an enormous amount. And there's a few ways you can make your product unique. There are 3 different ways, one of which is very hard, one of which is very easy. And all of these can have a different impact on your store. And I'm going to walk you through each of them. And then I'm going to walk you through how they play into the Google Ads structure and how you can actually run the ads themselves once you decide how you're going to make your product unique. Because as we've already established, if your product is not unique in some way, you're going to be fighting against everyone else selling the exact same thing. And it's going to be a race to the bottom. And you're probably going to get outbid and you're probably just going to end up losing a lot of money on Google. So let's get started, right? First of all, if you want to start with a completely unique product, let's say you create something, you invent something that no one else has, no one else in the market has it, you're the only person who sells this thing. That's really good, especially if it has search demand, right? The difficulty here is inventing something with search demand because if something is a new product, it's very unlikely to have search demand. But here's just an example, right? Something like Meta glasses, right? The glasses with a display and with all the recording capabilities, etc. Actually, not display, just recording capabilities and things like that. There is pretty much only really one brand that does it well, and it is the Meta glasses. Like there's not really any other brands that make these kind of glasses. I can't think of any off the top of my head at least. And when I was searching for Meta glasses, there were literally no competitors. It was just Meta. And I know I'm searching for Meta, but often these people will bid on their competitors. So this is a completely unique product. And the beauty of this is when someone searches for Meta glasses, there's nothing else there. They are being bought from Meta, right? Obviously, it's a Ray-Ban Meta collaboration here, but they are ultimately buying Meta glasses and there's no one else there to compete. So these guys basically have a monopoly on the market. And the reason, well, because they have a monopoly, it means that their return is going to be enormous because there's no one else to compete against. They aren't bidding against anyone. Every bid will win, essentially. And the conversion rate just depends on how likely the user is to purchase. It has no competitive influence whatsoever. But the problem is it's very, very hard to pull off because it basically requires you to invent something. And not only that, but invent something that has search demand. So again, it's kind of a catch-22 because how do you produce demand if the product doesn't exist? But then how do you beat out the competitors if the product does exist and demand exists for it? And that's how you do, this is how you beat out the competitors, right? Number 2 and number 3 here. So second up is creating a similar product, but with unique features. So here's an example, right? An orthopedic dog bed. So this is much easier than point 1. It's just building on an existing product. So an existing product like a dog bed. This introduces an additional variant, an additional attribute, an additional characteristic of the product that makes it more appealing to certain audiences. Orthopedic features of the bed would be very, very appealing to someone who has an older dog or a dog with injuries or disabilities or something like that. And it allows you to charge a lot more as well, because your premium orthopedic technology, which may cost you only an additional $5 to produce, can be upcharged by $100 because of the potential improvement to this person's dog life that it's bringing, right? And this could even, may not be ethical, but this could even be the exact same product as your regular product, but you just market it as orthopedic because it has orthopedic benefits. Again, you can add $100 onto the price because it's orthopedic, despite the fact that it's the exact same product. So this is much easier than point one, but it's still semi-complex, right? You just have to ideally introduce some kind of new technology. If you do have an actual proven benefit, proven feature that is real and actually better than your competitors, it'll make things easier, but it'll also give you a competitive advantage, right? If you have this thing that you can prove has an additional feature outside of all of your competitors' products, it's going to make it a lot easier. Has good potential returns, and it allows you to clearly differentiate and access niche markets. Like I said, you can access a market like people who have disabled dogs or old dogs or anything like that, and it lets you charge more. By the way, if you want me to implement my entire 8-figure Google Ads system for your e-commerce brand, SaaS company, service-based business, whatever you are, as long as you run Google Ads, just click the first link below to book a call with my team. Now, finally, this is the easiest one to pull off, but it has the least leverage compared to the other two. And this is just by using the exact same product as everyone else, selling the exact same product as everyone else, but identifying a specific marketing angle, so a specific feature of the product that you want to point out, essentially. Now, the difference between number 3 and number 2 is number 2 has a genuinely different feature of the product. I may have been a little bit misleading there, but the product itself is actually different. It has something that has a provable advantage, an evidence-based advantage over your competitors. While number 3 here is the exact same thing, you're just claiming that it has specific benefits, right? In this case, for example, this is another sauna, but this one identifies the low EMF aspect, right? So this would sell to someone who is concerned about EMF radiation and they want to minimize it. And this selling point here is just low EMF, even though I'm pretty sure it's probably all the same as all the other saunas. They just call it low EMF because that's a good marketing angle for them, right? And picking an angle like this and leaning into it, it can allow you to be more profitable than other brands and still access niche segments. So if they were to just title this Kylan Carbon Infrared Sauna Room 2-person, it would, potentially sell. But again, there's so many competitors. Whereas if they call it Kylan Low EMF Carbon Infrared Sauna, now if someone searches for low EMF sauna, this becomes an obvious choice amongst a lineup of other saunas that don't indicate they're low EMF. So there is some benefit to trying to outline individual features, but it's a lot more difficult, right? Finding things like this where it is an easy improvement to the product, has a big impact on selling price, market accessibility, all these kind of things, I think number 2 is the best way to go in the vast majority of cases. So you already have your high ticket brand, or you're maybe thinking of starting a high ticket brand. Make sure that you in some way differentiate your product. You make it unique in some kind of way. Otherwise you will be stuck. You will be paying really high CPCs and you won't be able to outcompete people with bigger budgets than you. So here's the structure. When it actually comes to Google Ads, this is what you're going to want to roll out in your account. If you're unsure how to roll out any of these campaigns, please feel free to check out my other videos. Feel free to shoot me a message, book a call with me. More than happy to help you structure something like this for your own brand if you think it can make money on Google. First of all, branded search. I talk about branded search all the time. This is the campaign that allows you to feed data into the Google algorithm. It protects your brand from competitors and it boosts your SERP ratings if your SEO is poor. So if you're a brand new company, you may have really poor SEO. This allows you to boost up in the Google Ads rankings to the highest level when someone searches for your brand name. So you don't have any competitors beating you out. You're actually showing in the search results because a lot of people don't even show in them, giving you a much better opportunity. Some tips for your branded search campaign: make sure to use manual CPC or target impression share bidding strategies. So these strategies prevent you from having inflated bids by Google. If you use an automated bidding strategy on branded search, you'll often get inflated bids because Google will just pump up your bids because you're giving them command over your bids. Only allocate a very small portion of your budget to this campaign, so about 5%, maybe 10%. It shouldn't be high because these are people who are very, very interested in your product. They're searching for your brand name. You don't need to spend much money on them. You don't want to pay money on them because you probably already have a paid money to acquire them from another platform. The goal is to always have an exceptional ROAS on this campaign. This campaign should always be operating at, depends on the brand, 5, 10, 20x ROAS. Always high, well above break even. Use exact match keywords. Your keywords should just be exact match. They should be only your brand name and nothing else. Next up, non-branded shopping. This is your primary driver of new customer acquisition. So this is where most of your new customers will come from. It allows you to show your products at scale to new customers who are interested in your products. And the way you run it is by starting with manual CPC or maximize clicks, allocate the majority of your budget to this campaign because this is where you're going to get most of your new customers. Start with your best-selling products only. You don't want to waste money on low performers if you're still early in the account. Exclude branded traffic with negative keywords if you're using a branded shopping campaign. If you're not using branded shopping though, just keep branded in the shopping. It's fine. It's going to help you in the long run as long as it's not fully leaning into it. But I'll explain that later on. Highlight USPs in your product titles. So like we said here, make sure you're highlighting the important, unique features of your product in your product title so it's clear why people should click on it. And optimize your GMC listings. So make sure that your titles are effective, your prices are set up, your discounts are set up, your reviews are set up, your shipping times are set up, your returns are set up. Everything needs to be set up so you're putting as much information as possible in front of the user when they're ready to purchase. Next up, non-brand search. So this one is going to increase your presence in search results without the additional listing type of shopping listings. It captures more general category-based inquiries, and you can strategically capture middle of funnel, top of funnel traffic with this one. So you want a search campaign that targets non-brand terms related to your product. So in this case, it would be just targeting like sauna, wooden sauna, two-person sauna, things like that. Start with manual CPC or maximize clicks. Consider advertorial sales pages to convert middle funnel, top of funnel traffic. Now, this is another one that is a little more complex, and I typically only recommend moving into once you do have a little bit of expertise and results in the account. But you can start moving up the funnel to people who have more problem-related searches. So you could have people searching for benefits of sauna, and you could run them to a page that you own with an ad and walk them through the benefits of a sauna, give them the information they're requesting, and then sell them on your sauna to try and get them to convert. Now, this can be harder to do. It can be profitable in certain situations though. I generally wouldn't recommend it in the early stages of an account, but it's something to consider if you are in a more late stage of the account and you want to try new things. Emphasize your USPs in your ad copy and your landing page copy. So in all the words in your ad headlines, in your landing page, you want to make sure that you are really emphasizing the USPs. In this case, for example, low EMF. USP stands for unique service proposition, in case you weren't aware, or unique selling proposition. And then exclude branded traffic with negative keywords. So in this non-brand search campaign, you don't want branded traffic because we want our branded search traffic to go to this campaign here. So go negative keywords, exact match your brand name. Finally, you have the branded shopping campaign. Now, I only recommend introducing this if your non-branded shopping campaign is getting heaps and heaps of branded traffic and it's not acquiring any new customers for you. Then you need a branded shopping campaign to separate it out so you can force this campaign to acquire new customers. Like I said there, segregate brand and non-branded shopping for attribution purposes and also just for scaling and new customer acquisition. Same as search, generally for the purpose. The tips, use manual CPC, allocate a small portion of your budget and just start with your best-selling products. Once again, you only want to be advertising typically the same products in here as you are in there. If people are searching for your brand name, they're probably looking for your best sellers anyway, so you don't need to have any other products in there. All right, and that's the structure. That's exactly how you roll out a high ticket brand. It's very similar to other brands. It's slightly different in the structure. This is the exact structure I would use for a high ticket brand in particular. But the most important thing, more important than the campaign structure, more important than any kind of tweaks or bidding or budgets in Google Ads, is making sure that you have a genuinely unique product with a really good selling proposition, a really good unique angle that allows you to differentiate yourself in the market and stand out from your competitors. So that's everything from me today. This one was a little bit more fundamental marketing based, but I hope you found this helpful and I hope this gave you some information on effectively starting a high ticket brand and running it in Google Ads. If you have any questions about this, if you want some help running your own high ticket brand on Google, if you already have success, if you're already making over $10,000, $30,000 a month on paid ads in general, please feel free to book a call with me down below. More than happy to help you scale up your brand on Google. I think it would be a great fit for it. And if you are interested, please go ahead and do that. Otherwise, if you have any suggestions for future videos, drop in the comments below. Please like and subscribe if you enjoyed the content, and I'll see you guys in the next one.